Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Well, another day and another shooting here in the United States. On Friday, 3 people were killed when a gunman barged into a staff meeting in Youngstown, California, at the California Veterans Home, a home that treats veterans with PTSD and other, emotional issues that could stem from wartime and service-related, issues. But this man was apparently asked to leave the program. I will not give you his name. He does not deserve the recognition, does not deserve to have his name plastered everywhere. I'm sure you're seeing it in the mainstream media, but you will not see a name for a mass shooter here, at least not intentionally. But this man walked into a staff meeting, ended up taking hostages and killing all 3 of them before, in an act of cowardice, killing himself. And this man was a coward. Not only did he attack unarmed people, he ended up taking his own life. So one, he's a coward for killing 3 unarmed people. That's a chicken shit move right there. And then he decided to take his own life in another act of cowardice. Another chicken shit move. So the man will not get his name enshrined on any of my videos. You will not hear his name. You will not see his name. But this man took the lives of 3 women. All because he was asked to leave the program. I do not know why he was asked to leave the program, but they asked him to leave the program, and his response was, go get an assault rifle and go murder people. That was his damn response. What a freaking coward. People like this just drive me mad. You sit there and you think it's okay to go take lives just because you didn't get your damn way? Screw that. If we all sat here killing people because we didn't like how things turned out, we'd be killing everybody. Good God, looking back at my life, all the things that I didn't get that I wanted, all the times I didn't get my way. You don't see me out murdering people. Heck, take my YouTube channel for example. I've been busting my ass for 3 years on this channel. I got 77 subscribers. Do you think that's what I wanted? No. I was hoping for at least a few hundred subscribers in the first 3 years. Shoot. So you sit there and talk about you didn't get your way, so you murdered people? That's a coward. That's a chicken shit. That's a little bitch right there. That's all that is. Anyhow, I try to put a video together when I have the names of the victims. Unfortunately, their families are without their loved ones tonight. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic that we continue to allow this to happen. But on the good news, a Napa County Sheriff deputy has been named a hero for engaging the shooter initially and basically forced him back inside, and he wasn't able to get out of that one office and injure anybody else or kill anybody else. Thank God. My thoughts and prayers are definitely with the victims, but at the same time, we need action. Thoughts and prayers do nothing except, they may give you a warm, fuzzy feeling for a second, but they don't bring back the dead. They don't bring back the victims of this senseless kind of freaking crimes. This heinous shit has to stop. We've got to find a way to stop. And that takes me to my next part of the video. Marjory Stoneman High School over in Parkland, Florida. Of course, the site of a horrific shooting back on Valentine's Day. But it hasn't been for nothing. Now, of course, the kids are demanding an outright ban on assault rifles, most of them. And I can't help but support them. Because this has got to stop. But Florida at this point is not going to ban those rifles. But they have placed some restrictions on buying those rifles. Like right now, the Governor Rick Scott of Florida signed a bill Friday that, of course, was immediately had a lawsuit filed against it by the NRA for one of its provisions. But he signed the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School Safety Act, I believe it was called, and it does some things. It does some things that may help reduce the number of gun deaths, at least within schools and things like that. And one of the provisions, which is the provision the NRA is suing for, is a provision I don't think is really all that effective on stopping the crimes in the first place. But let's get right into it. First off, this law that Governor Rick Scott signed, raises the age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21, would require a 3-day waiting period to purchase these assault rifles, with a few exceptions. I don't know what those exceptions are, but apparently there are a few exceptions to the rule on that one. It'll also ban bump stocks. And, of course, bump stocks are the thing you can add to a firearm, apparently, so a semi-automatic, like assault rifle type gun that allows them to fire at a higher rate of speed, apparently. I am no expert at guns. You will not see me being able to spout facts about guns, so if I said something wrong, get over it, okay? Let me know down below. I'm all about learning. I don't mind learning about things. Just let me know. But at the end of the day, those are some of the few provisions they put in there that are there. Another provision of it that I totally don't really care for, and Governor Rick Scott didn't really care for it either, but he allowed it because of how it was written. Went ahead and didn't use his line item veto, which apparently the governor in Florida has. But that is allow some teachers to be armed. Now, from what I've read, teachers that are armed would be required to have a to be able to have the firearm, for one, but two, they need 144 hours of training, and it would also be left up to the local police department and the school would have to agree on the teachers being armed, and I'm sure there would have to be some kind of identification made to the police officers that that way, if there is a shooting and the teacher's has had to pull their weapon, that the police department and first responders would know who these teachers are. But it'd be left up to the local police department and the local school district. And I don't really agree with the idea of arming teachers, but if you're going to do it, I think that's the best way, is to be able to run a threat assessment on the school and find out if it's needed. Find out if the police department thinks it's actually going to be helpful. And, some situations it may be, and some situations it may not be. But I still don't think it's a great idea to arm teachers. I think we should be hiring guards, say ex-military that can pass a, mental evaluation and everything. Should be the ones hired to guard our schools if they're not able to find work. I don't think arming our teachers is going to be helpful. We've already had some, signs where things where teachers have done some crazy stuff in the last few weeks. One of them left a gun out where one of the students found it. Another one got shot in the leg up in Utah. Another one fired off a round in his classroom because he went nutso in his classroom. Thank God nobody was in that classroom. But I think it's a different thing. We don't need to be arming teachers, I don't think. But here's one thing that I do fully support in this bill for sure. And that is, it's providing extra funding for mental health in the state of Florida. And the shooter there in Parkland, he was known to have some problems. He was diagnosed with some emotional or mental disorders of some sort, from what I've read. That said, obviously mental health is a problem. And I think that more funding towards it, which a lot of funding was pulled back in 2008 with the collapse of the economy, states just didn't have the money. And I think some states are starting to see that losing that money on mental health was a bad thing. It's leading to a lot of tragic things happening in people's lives, and these people really need help. I also, though, wish the bill would have gone a step further and would have made it to where people that are a threat to themselves can't have a firearm. And if that happens to be in the law and I have missed it, please let me know in the comments what you think of, what, if that is in there or not. But I did not see it on any of the literature I read for it. And so I really think we need to make sure that we're able to, take guns out of the hands of people that are a threat to themselves and to society at large. Now, I'm not saying that, that you should take their guns, confiscate them, and never give them back. Once they've been able to get treatment and everything, and they're deemed safe, then let them have their guns back. And I'm not saying let the government decide who's considered safe. Let the psychiatric community decide who is safe to have a firearm. Don't let the government do it, because if the government do it, there's too many chances of people having their gun rights taken away that don't deserve it. Say you just don't, the government could make a decision, oh, well, you don't deserve it. We don't like you. You said something negative about us. Therefore, we're going to deem you unworthy or unfit. And I don't want that to happen either. But I think, we should do more. If you've had if the police are called on you because you're having some kind of meltdown, maybe you should go without your firearm for a little bit for your safety as well as others. And I like this idea of a 3-day waiting period. I thought this was already the case. I thought that was federal law, but apparently I was wrong. More proof there again that I don't know a lot about guns. But I do know that this must stop. I do know that we cannot continue to let our school children be gunned down and murdered like this, or people in offices being gunned down and murdered like this. This is a terrible thing that's going on in this country, and we've got to stop it. And lastly, I want to make one last statement here. Video games are not the cause of mass shootings. A study was recently released that showed that 80% of people that play video games, or not video games, but people that do mass shootings, do not have any interest in video games whatsoever up to the point that they have committed their crime. So it wipes out the theory that violent video games makes you a violent person. Video games don't make you a murderer. I play World of Warcraft quite often. I've played other violent games throughout my lifetime. I haven't once gone off and murdered anybody. And let me tell you, anything that I have done in my life had nothing to do with what I saw on a video game or on a television screen. So, at the end of the day, I want to make it clear, video games do not, I repeat, do not create mass shooters. It's just not how it works. Some people are just screwed up in the head, and I know we're always trying to find a reason for it. But it's not the video games, people. It's not the music. It's not the TV. It's not the movies. It's people with severe mental issues having easy access to firearms. That is the culprit. That is what we're up against. And then you got the NRA trying to sue every state anytime they try to pass any kind of gun law. Because the NRA's theory is arm everybody and we'll be safer. But the more people you arm, the more people you're going to kill. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road. And thank you, Florida, for showing some balls in the face of the NRA and telling them that they can suck it. Thank you.